Let's move on. Number 3. Alright, which algebraic expression is equivalent to the expression below? We're going to use distributive property to get rid of those parentheses. You're not allowed to just erase parentheses. The way you get rid of them is using distributive property. So, I'm going to take this 5, and I multiply it times everything inside the parentheses. So 5 times 4x is going to give me 20x. And then 5 times a positive 6 is going to give me a positive 30. Alright? Now here's the rule. I cannot go any farther because these are not like terms. They have to stay separate. This guy right here, his last name is X. This guy's last name right here is number because he's just a number. Okay? That's what I like to say. Because he doesn't have a variable in the back of him. Okay? So this right here is my answer. I can't combine these. Some 7th graders, they try to combine them because they're like, oh, 20 plus 30, that's 50. But you're not allowed to do that. That's 20 x's plus 30 numbers. They're completely different. Okay? So, let's see which one matches. It's not A. It's not B. Not C. Looks like D. 20 x's plus 30. D, man, all the answers are D. Let's check out this one, number 4. We have negative 24x minus 48. What they're wanting you to do is factor. Okay? So whenever they have you factor, they're trying to have you pull out what is common between these two guys right here. Okay? So, very first thing I know that's common between them that I can factor out is a negative. Because look, they both have negatives. I can take a negative out of both of them. So that means that this will just be 24x. And then this will become a positive 48. And I can prove that this is the same because watch. If I put my invisible 1 right there and I multiply negative 1 times 24x, a negative times a positive is going to equal negative 24x. A negative times a positive is going to equal a negative 48. You see how it's the exact same? Alright? Negative 24x minus 48. So when you're factoring, you're not actually changing the value of it. You're just trying to write it in a different way. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of all this. Get it back to the way I had it. I factored out a negative. But there's something that both of these guys still have in common. I could divide 12 into both of these. So that means I can factor out a 12. Because look, if I divide this by 12, then that's going to give me 2x. If I divide this by 12, that's going to give me a 4. Okay? So I can pull that 12 on the outside back out there with that negative. Okay? Because 12 is something that they also had in common. I could divide both of them by 12. But now I see something else that they have in common. Look, I could divide both of these by 2. So that means I can factor out a 2 also. Alright? So, what I'm going to do is this 2 that I'm factoring out of them, I'm going to multiply it times that 12 on the outside. So that's going to be a negative 24 on the outside. X plus 2. Now there is nothing else that these guys on the inside have in common that I can factor out. So I'm going to go try to find my answer over here in my multiple choice. I'm looking for negative 24 on the outside. Well, that's not it. That one's negative 24. Parentheses x. But that says minus 2. I'm not looking for a minus 2, so that can't be it. That one has negative 12 on the outside of the parentheses. Negative 24 parentheses x plus 2. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. Okay? D, again, what do you know? I just want to prove to you guys that this is actually the same answer, okay? Watch this. Negative 24 x plus 2. A negative 24 times x is going to be negative 24x. A negative 24 times a positive 2 is going to be a negative 48. Does this number look familiar, or this expression actually? Yeah, see, that was our original problem. So I'm just showing you that they are actually the same. Okay? And that's how you do factoring. I did have one more I wanted to go over with you guys. It's a word problem. Maybe this will help you all out. Match the following equation to the correct situation. Okay? So we have some variable plus 8% of a variable equals the variable times 1.08. Okay? Now, several things I want to just point out. 8%, the way you write that as a number is 0.08. Okay? I wasn't sure if you guys remember that from last year. Alright? So let's see which one of these situations matches. The amount donated by a company which gives 8% of number of dollars collected at a charity banquet. Okay? Let's look at letter B. The amount Tanya owes after putting 8% down on a home. Okay? Well, if she's putting 8% down, that means that should decrease the amount that she owes on the home. You see right here, there's an increase of the amount. Okay? So that can't be it. Let's look at C. The amount Ryan paid for 2 shirts. One was full price for A, and the other was discounted 8%. Okay? Now think about this. If it was discounted 8%, then that means he had to pay full price for the first one, but then he had to pay 92% for the second one. So what that would really equal is 1.92A. Alright? And that's completely different than what we have up here. This is 1.08A. Alright, so we know that can't be it. The amount Jess owes Julie from borrowing A with 8% interest. Okay? So, if you think about this, she borrowed this amount. Okay? But she has to pay that back, and she also has to pay 8% interest along with what she borrowed. So that means what she's going to have to pay back in total is going to be what she borrowed plus 8%. So that would be 1.08. So again, look at this. Our answer is D. I want to hop back up to option A, because option A I would think is the one that is most likely going to give people some issues. It says the amount donated by a company which gives 8% of A dollars collected at a charity. Alright? Because what this says is a company is only going to give 8% of what's collected. So this really is not even going to be an equation. This is more like an expression, because it doesn't say that the company's going to give, it's going to match whatever was collected and then also give 8%. It did not say that. All it said was it's only going to give 8% of what was collected. Okay? See, this right here, this would, if we were going to try to make this match, that company would have to give, first they'd have to match what was given, and then they would also give 8%, and that would equal the total amount that they gave. But that does not match our original equation here. So D is the correct answer. Alright guys, well hopefully this will help you get through that one lesson, lesson 3A, which was linear expressions.